Hello there, everyone. George back here. I hope everybody's doing well. I want to make a thread response video to VC channel that I was just introduced to, MGK Boston, I believe. So yeah, he made a thread called, I believe, by the numbers. Sorry, where he wants everyone to show. Album titles or band titles or song titles that have a number in them. And I saw a response video from CGC Vinyl guy, Christian, and he already did a lot of the albums that I wanted to pull out. So I decided to make things a little bit more interesting, at least for myself, if not for anyone else. I wanted to limit my picks by records from the former Yugoslavia, since I am from Serbia and I have a lot of those records, but I noticed that I don't have a lot of them from with numbers in song titles for albums or something like that. So it was a bit challenging. He wanted us to show 12 albums. I pulled 11 LPs and one CD. So yeah, but they're all kind of older albums, of course. Pre 1991. So let's kick off. Let's get the CD out of the way. This is an artist called Bayaga, or his band is called Bayaga and the Instructors. Their third album, Riders of the Fog, and it has actually two songs, which is called with numbers in them. One of them is called I think 300 per hour, and the other one is 442 to Belgrade, one of his bigger hits, I guess. And this is from 80, I don't know, 5 6, whatever. Next one, this is an artist called Drago Mlinarec. uh, his 1979 album, which is called. I'm just gonna translate them. True, they're all titled in Serbian, Croatian, or whatever you want to call it. It's called "Voice from the Phone Number 514913," which is the last, I think, on the no, it's the last on the A side. Sorry, forgot. Haven't listened to this for a while, and yeah, he's kind of like I think that pretty much closest to Bob Dylan. That's kind of his style. Next one here is a band called, I guess I would translate it as Filthy Theater, and their album Black and White World. They kind of started off as punk, post punk band, and later went a lot softer. Uh, this is their 1980 album. I think it's the second album. I can't remember right now. Sorry. And there's a song in this one called "You're Only 17." Next one, I think I showed this one in a contest entry I did. I probably did. This is a band called Time, and this is their 1972 debut album. And the second song on the album is called song number 3. Uh, and yeah, by logic, they should have put it at number 3 on the album, but it was actually the third song the band wrote when they got together. And talking about this record, you know, a lot of people, when they talk about Yugoslavian rock, they're like, if this band played in English, sang in English, they would have been huge. They would have been a hit in the States or in the UK, Germany, whatever. But I don't think that's always the case. But if I would recommend an album to anybody from the former Yugoslavia, I would definitely recommend this record. I mean, this is just a fantastic album from 1972, and of course, a lot of albums, high quality classic albums, were released in '72, like Deep Purple's Machine Head or whatever else. And I really do think that this album is one of the best albums, at least in Europe, released in that year. So if you wanted, check it out. All songs are sang in, as I said, Yugoslavian band songs are sang in Serbian. There's one instrumental here, but just a fantastic record again. If anybody wants to check out Yugoslavian rock and don't know where to start, this is the place definitely. Okay, next one. This is a band called U Group, uh, with U referring as Yugoslavia. And this is their compilation album. And the song here is "There Once Was One Dog." So yeah, I saw this band live recently, and they were celebrating their 50th anniversary, and for their day and age, it was killer. One of the best concerts I ever seen. Okay, next up, a band called Generation Five. Their debut album and their biggest hit from this album is a song called uh, "I'll I'll Be Back in 5 Minutes." Coming up next, this is a band called White Button. This is their debut album. If I was a white button, that's what it's called. And this is really the band that brought rock to the masses in the former country, because they kind of combined rock and roll with ethno music. And the song here with the number on it, it's called "I've Been Suffering for 10 Days." Next one, pop rock band called the Steamroller. Their album "City Stories," and the song here, what was, yeah, "700 Miles from Home," the first song on the album. Like, a very popular band it was, and still is to this day, as most of these are. Next up, another I would call it post-punk band, probably called Azra. I don't know what the translation to that name would be. This is their album, "The Sunny Side of the Street," and the first song on the album is called 042. Next up here, solo album of former White Button keyboardist and also the keyboardist of another band that I'm going to show in, called Laza Ristovsky. And this is his album called Two Thirds. There's also a song called Two Thirds on the album. And this is great. He is synthing a lot in here. Great album. Next one here. This is probably my favorite Serbian or former Yugoslavian rock band called Smak, which means the end, but not like the end of a fairy tale. It's more like the end of the world and stuff like that. Um, their album called Pages of Our Time, and one of their, I mean, I guess one of their weaker albums, but they're an excellent band, a prog rock band with one of my favorite guitar players of all time. And the song here is, they have a lot of songs which are titled the Biska and then the number of that Biska. And over here it's Biska 18, I believe. Yeah. Uh, Biska 18, Midnight Hunter, but they also slashed it with Bisca 18, which was first called like that. But the best Bisca is Bisca number two, which is on their debut album, which sadly I don't have on vinyl or on CD anymore. I actually never had it on CD, but sadly I had to sell the vinyl. And last but not least, the 12th album, a band called Fish Dish. And how would I translate this album title? I guess Rotten Imaginations and Dirty Passion. Yeah, that would be the translation of the album title. And the song here is called Two Bucks a Body, which is one of their greatest hits. And this is probably the most popular rock band in Serbia of those older bands that were big in the former Yugoslavia. So anyway, that's it. I hope you liked this video. If you didn't, I'm sorry for wasting your time. Uh, Hope you find something interesting here to discover new. And take care, everybody. Bye bye. See you another time.